$312,000. That's how much my best friend's retirement check was worth. He hasn't touched it in 2 years, says he never will. There's an envelope in Harold's kitchen drawer. Inside is a check for $312,000. He hasn't cashed it. He says he never will. Last month I asked him why. He just looked at me, eyes wet, hands shaking. You want to know what that check cost me, Michael? He pulled out his wallet, showed me a photograph. A woman, blonde hair, big smile, standing on some beach somewhere. She doesn't know who I am anymore. 44 years, and she looks at me like I'm a stranger. He put the photo back. That's what that check cost me. 5 years. I traded 5 years with her for that piece of paper. I'm 68 years old, and what Harold told me that night, I haven't slept right since. I've known Harold since 1979. We met at a steel plant in Pennsylvania. He worked the floor. I was in logistics. Every Friday after shift, we'd grab a beer at this place called Mickey's. Sticky tables, bad lighting, best conversations of my life. Harold married Eleanor when they were both 19. Met her at a church picnic. He said he knew in 10 minutes. She asked her father for permission that same week. 44 years later, he still opened the car door for her. Still brought her coffee in bed every Sunday morning. I used to joke with him, "Harold, you're making the rest of us look bad." He never laughed at that, just shrugged. She's my whole life, Michael. Everything else is just noise. They had this plan, talked about it for 30 years. A cottage, blue shutters, somewhere in Maine near the water. They'd found the exact one. They even had a photo taped to their refrigerator. Eleanor would paint. Harold would fish. They'd watch the sunrise every morning from a porch that faced east. Simple, specific, real. Retirement was supposed to start at 62, but then Harold got nervous. The market was down. Healthcare costs kept climbing. Their financial advisor showed him some charts, some projection. Wait until 67, the advisor said. Your Social Security goes up 30%. You'll have more cushion, more security. 30%. Harold thought about Eleanor, the cottage, the porch. 5 more years, he told her that night. Then we'll have everything we need. Eleanor smiled, held his hand. Okay, honey, 5 more years. She trusted him. She always did. Eleanor would forget where she put her keys, forget what day it was, forget the name of the restaurant they've been going to for 20 years. Harold didn't worry. We all forget things. That's just getting older. Normal stuff. Then came October 14th, 2019. Eleanor drove to the grocery store. Same store she'd been going to since 1987. Same route, same parking lot. She called Harold at 2:47 p.m. I don't know where I am. He found her 45 minutes later, parked on the side of Route 9, engine still running, hands on the steering wheel, crying. She couldn't remember how to get home. The diagnosis came 3 weeks later, early onset Alzheimer's, aggressive. Harold quit his job the next morning, walked into his boss's office, said 2 words, "I'm done." Didn't care about the pension, didn't care about the 30%, didn't care about anything except getting back to Eleanor. But here's what they don't tell you about that disease. It doesn't take everything at once. It takes pieces, slowly, one at a time. First, she forgot their anniversary, then their son's birthday, then how to make the coffee she'd made every morning for 40 years. And then, March 3rd, 2020, Harold woke up early, made her favorite breakfast, eggs scrambled soft, toast with strawberry jam, the way she liked it. He brought it to her in bed, set it down on the nightstand, leaned in to kiss her forehead. She pulled back, looked at him. "Who are you?" 3 words. Harold told me he stood there for a full minute, couldn't move, couldn't breathe. The woman who'd loved him for 44 years was looking at him like he was someone who'd broken into her house. "It's me," he whispered. "It's Harold." Nothing. She was gone. I went to see Harold about 6 months after Eleanor moved to the memory care facility. His house was quiet, too quiet. Dishes piled in the sink, mail stacked on the counter, unopened. He was sitting at the kitchen table, just sitting, and in front of him was the envelope. The Social Security check, $312,000. 5 years of waiting. 30% more than he would have gotten at 62. "It came last month," he said. Didn't look up. I sat down across from him. "Are you going to open it?" He laughed, but not really. "You know what I did yesterday, Michael? I went to see Eleanor. I brought her flowers. Yellow roses, her favorite." He paused. "She asked the nurse who I was. The nurse said, 'That's your husband.' Eleanor looked at me and said, 'I don't have a husband.'" He finally looked up. $312,000. That's what they say it's worth. 5 years of waiting. He pushed the envelope toward me. "You know what I would give to have those 5 years back? To have retired at 62 like we planned? To have taken her to that cottage while she still remembered why we wanted it." His voice cracked. "I'd burn this check in front of you right now. I'd burn everything I have." He picked up the photograph from the table. Eleanor, young, smiling. "I optimized for money, Michael. Every calculator, every advisor, every article. They all said, 'Wait, wait, wait.' And I listened." He looked at that photo for a long time. "Nobody told me I was trading years for dollars. Nobody told me time runs out. Nobody told me she wouldn't remember the man who waited." I drove home that night in silence. No radio, no phone calls, just Harold's voice in my head. Time runs out. I'm 68 years old. My wife is 66. We're healthy, we're lucky. But for how long? Here's what I want you to understand. Every financial advisor, every article, every YouTube video, they'll tell you to optimize, wait longer, get more, be smart. And they're not wrong about the maths. They're wrong about what maths can't measure. The trip you keep postponing, the conversation you keep avoiding, the person you keep assuming will always be there. Harold had a perfect plan, perfect numbers, perfect strategy, and now he eats dinner alone every night, while the love of his life lives in a room she doesn't recognize, cared for by people she thinks are strangers. $312,000, still sitting in that drawer, still unopened. I called my wife the minute I got home that night, told her I loved her. Told her I was sorry for every time I said next year, for every trip we postponed, for every sunrise I missed because I was too busy. She asked me what was wrong. "Nothing," I said. "I just don't want to wait anymore." If you're watching this and there's someone you've been putting off calling, call them. If there's a trip you've been saving for someday, book it. If there's something you've been waiting to say it. Because someday isn't guaranteed. Harold taught me that, the hard way. I share these stories because I don't want you to learn them the way he did. If this hit you somewhere, if you thought of someone while you were watching this, I'd consider that a good thing. I'll see you in the next one. Go take care of the people you love while they still know who you are.